Hi, Harrison, Michelle, Jacqueline, and Molly. I'm making this video. I wanted to share some of my thinking with you relative to your submission regarding the Espinoza v. Montana Department of Revenue case. I want to say that, boom, you all knocked it out of the park with your unpacking of this case and the clarity with which you explained it. Before I watched your presentation, I read the comments on the discussion board. I was really impressed with the types of questions that were asked because that gave me insight into the clarity of your presentation and the level of understanding that you were able to demonstrate when sharing the case with your classmates. Not only the importance of the case, but also the implications. So I'm giving kudos to you, Harrison, Michelle, and Jacqueline, because you did an excellent job facilitating that discussion board. I then turned to the message map itself and listened to the presentation. Harrison, you did an excellent job. I probably shouldn't call you out in that way because relative to Molly, Jacqueline, Michelle, I don't know. Okay, is that Molly's voice? Is that Jacqueline's voice? Is that Michelle's voice? I'm not sure. But I know Harrison's voice, I believe, and I want to give you kudos in the way you just introduced the case, setting the expectations for your classmates as to what was to follow. And even though, as I said, is that Jacqueline, that Michelle, that Molly, all three of you were very clear in the aspect of the case that you presented. I appreciated the discussion initially around the Blaine amendments that exist in, I believe it's like 37 state constitutions, because this case has significant implications for those amendments in state constitutions, in that they were specifically put there to say that there could be no supporting of religious entities through federal monies. But as you so clearly explained, if you're going to provide access to any non-public schools, then you can't deny access to this federal program simply because there is an entity that has an affiliation or a religious affiliation, because to do so would be punitive. And as you say in your hashtag, they must remain neutral. So SCOTUS did weigh in. I appreciated the way you set up that message in your headline. Your supporting points were dead on. As I said, let me look at my notes I took when I was reading your case. The selection of the Blaine Amendment as one key point was important and well explained. I also appreciated the fact that in that discussion, you were able to link the Supreme Court's holding here to Trinity Lutheran, because in this case, they really clarified and built on the opinion that they offered in Trinity Lutheran. I appreciated in the second point when you talked about disqualifying an institution because of its religious affiliation is imposing a penalty. And I think that that's important because the government is supposed to act with an even hand and not discriminate against anyone. And then the third point, having to do with the government, they don't have to subsidize, but if they do, then they have to do so in a manner that's not hostile. In the third point, you also talked very eloquently about the importance of school choice. Parents in this country, they have a choice. We have choices as far as liberty principles to where we want to send our children for education. And as you mentioned in the presentation, sometimes it has to do with values, culture, things that you want your children to benefit from. And you should have that choice whether or not the organization that you choose to educate your child is an independent, non-public, or religious affiliated school. If the government is going to cross that line between church and state, then they have to do so in an even-handed manner. They can't cross that line and then say, oh, we're only going to offer the opportunity to families who elect not to send their children to religious schools. I don't know, I'm trying to think, was this on the discussion board? But I also appreciated how you all addressed that whole direct, indirect benefit, because there was some conversation around, well, it was important to understand that these monies were given to the families because the families could make application for them rather than to the schools. And so it was of direct benefit to children rather than to the institutions. But overall, I got to give you kudos. Knocked it out of the park. You did an excellent job unpacking the case. And for that, I'm awarding you the 100 points that you earned. Good job.